What's going on, party people? Daryl D. I'm back with another comic haul. Uh, First and foremost, don't pay any attention to all this paint all over me. I've been painting today. Anyway, um, another comic haul. I definitely wanted to put one together because I actually last night I found two different small stacks of comic books that I bought at some point, and I just set them down somewhere, completely forgot about them. So I don't think some of these books I've shown before, and if I have for any reason, I apologize. But I got a lot of stuff to show you, and this has all been unearthed within the last couple days, actually. I did pick up some comic books today, though, and I want to show you those too. So let's just get started. This first batch, I'm not sure if I showed you this or not. I almost feel like I did. If I did, I apologize. Uh, I think this first small stack came from Samurai Comics. That's like a small chain here in my area. I think there might be five of them um, throughout the city. These books, all of these books, I think were free with a purchase. Cause like if you, I think there's like a big box or like a short box, I should say. Um, and then like if you buy something, you can take either you can take whatever you want out of the box, or everything in the box was $1 a piece. One of the two. But anyway, the first one I want to show you is, I guess this is a one-off. I don't think I've read this. I haven't read this. This is a Book of Cutter. I'm not sure. I don't recall what that's about. I'm thinking these were either free or a buck. I don't recall. Um, Here's number one of The Killer, Affairs of the State. This is pretty cool. I need to save this one. Private American. That looks pretty cool. That might just end up in another video. And then issue number 5 of Out of Alcatraz. I've been hearing a lot of good stuff about this book. I have not yet started to actually yeah, to actually read it. Look at that. Even on the elbow. I haven't actually started to read that run yet, but soon enough. You know me, I'm Mr. Behind Everything. So I'll get to it. This next stack, let me see if I can figure out where I even got these from. Oh, wait a minute. I believe these came from my last trip. Was it my last trip? No, a couple trips ago to the Midwest. Um, I was, I think I started off, oh man, this was back in January. I hope I didn't show you these before. I may have. I think I showed you these before. Cause anyway, let's just go through them. I was in the Midwest. I flew into my hometown of Milwaukee. I traveled over to after being there a day. I traveled over to Chicago, hung out there for a day. A buddy of mine took me around to a bunch of comic shops over there, and I do believe this is where I picked these up. So I'm just gonna go through these real quick. This is issue number 1 of Concrete Park. This is issue number 1 of Masquerade. I think I showed these before. This is issue number 3 of Masquerade. 4 of Masquerade. Issue number 4 of Locust. Issue number 1 of Rough Riders. These are just random books that I found, more than likely in the dollar boxes or less, and thought I'd give it a shot. Here's Burning Fields, book number 1 of 8 books on there. This is Infidel number 4. Infidel number 3. This stuff is starting to look really familiar. Banja X. Does that sound realistic? Lost Worlds. What issue? Number 3. This definitely, I remember the comic shop in Chicago where I got that one. Here is a, I guess this would be an underground book. It's issue number 1 of Hit the Road, a comic for and about hitchhiking. Alright, whatever. This is a program guide for the Motor City Comic Con, which was held on October 12th and 13th of 1996. I don't know why I bought it. I just bought it. This is a ashcam of the Exorcism at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Here's issue number 1 of Hellhole. Yeah, here's issue number 2 of Hellhole. Then we got issue number 3. This one I've definitely shown you before. I obviously bought more than one. Eat the Rich, issue number 1. Here's number 1 of I Walk with Monsters. I haven't read any of these. Shit, I forgot I even had them. Issue 1 of 4 of Curb Stomp. Have no idea what that's about. Here's issue number 4 of Cutter. Then if we go here, we got, what is this image? Issue number 8 of Cannibal. Anybody ever heard of that? And then here we got issue number 1 of Cannibal. Then we have issue number 1 of The Discipline. If there's some random book that I pick up where I want to check out, I love it when I can actually find the first issue, so I know if I want to continue, or at least, you know, that's usually the hardest issue to get a lot of times. Here's issue number 3 of Grand Passion. I love a really, really good Western book. And this is issue number 5 of Redemption. I'm sure I've shown some of those before. I know this was a run that I was looking to complete. Here's issue number 2 of Juke Joint. I kind of remember buying a book like this at I don't know. I don't want to say the wrong thing. This is The Fourth Man, issue number 1. This run I just finished reading maybe a week or 2 ago. I'm definitely going to talk about this story in the future. That's a whole nother project I'm working on. I spoke about this book, Dead Eyes. That's issue number 1. And here's issue number 1 of He Who Fights with Monsters. Again, if my memory serves me correct, I do believe these, I know some of these for a fact go back to January of this year. So either I showed you this before and forgot about it, or maybe I didn't. Maybe I'm slipping. But I can tell you this. As many books as I bring into this place, I know quite often I will put something down and just forget that it's there. Alright, so let's see what I got now. All of this stuff uh, I've bought within the last 2 days. This purchase right here is actually a purchase from yesterday. I went to Drawn to Comics here in Glendale, Arizona. The book that I was looking to get, they didn't have, which I'll show you in a second because I got it from another shop. But I did find, I don't even know what this is called. I should open this and see what the name of this book is. Because there's a sticker on the outside and it says, inspired by 9 Inch Nails. Does that ring a bell to anyone out there? It doesn't have a name on it. What does it say? Make them all go away? Is that what the name of this is? Make something all go away. Make this all go away. That's what it is. So I just on a fluke bought it because I didn't want to leave the store empty-handed. You ever had those moments where things don't work out? The art is, it kind of comes and goes. I don't know. Yeah, I'm digging it. So, like up here, like I can dig that. I can dig that art. But then I saw some stuff in here that I didn't care for. Like this page. This has got to have multiple artists. What do you think? Do you think this page, I don't really care for these 2 pages. Do you think that's the same artist that you just saw? Or were those 2 different artists? I'm thinking there's more than one. Yeah, see, these pages are awful looking to me. And then if I go like towards the back, then you got some more cool art. I don't know. Anybody familiar with this book? Make This All Go Away. Inspired by 9 Inch Nails, supposedly. Put me up on game. I bought the last issue of They Chose Violence. That's number 5 of 5. I thought this book just started. I thought they were only on number 3. But I picked this one up yesterday and I was looking at my list on my phone and it said all I was missing was number 5. So apparently I have the rest of them. And then they were, as I was checking out, there was like a box of comics and they had a lot of the books in there were these indie books, and some of the books, not any that I picked up today, were kind of like in between a full-fledged underground comics and like kind of like normal comics. That's what was in most of the box, but then I found a few of the, just miscellaneous ones that I picked up. They were $2 a piece. At least the ones I picked up were. This is issue number 1 of Badlands. That looks super duper familiar. I'm almost positive that I have this entire run that I showed a long time ago, because if I'm not mistaken, this came out on one company and then another company might have picked it up or something happened, and then it was on another company, because this one has 2 different covers of number 1, if my memory serves me correct. Anyway, I just picked it up anyway. It was $2. Why not? And this is Viz Comics mini series, bi-weekly. This is Pineapple Army. Is that a number 1 down in the corner? I picked it up. Again, I didn't exactly want to leave empty-handed, so that's what I did. No, I think that's the number 1. Okay, so let's see what I picked up today. Yes. Let's look at, I went by Greg's Comics. one of my favorite shops in the city. Definitely in my top two, top three shops in the valley. There's always something interesting to find in there. Okay, so this is issue number 1 of Alien Worlds. Now, I will admit I've always been attracted to this book, but I'm not really familiar with it. I mean, I know it's like a horror type book, and the only other one I own is the issue with I think there's 2 issues. One, maybe 2 issues that feature Richard Corbin's art in it. That's the only other ones I have. But I figure, issue number 1. I think they had issue number 4 or something in there too. But I just picked up number 1. It's $5. I mean, why not? I picked up another issue of Run DMC, $2. I'll buy this all day for $2. After I left Drawn the Comics yesterday, and then I think I was on IG or something, and I saw a video of a record shop, and they were just kind of showing. They always show the new Comic Book Day books, and I'll tell you, a year ago I didn't even know what New Comic Book Day was. Had no idea. And even after I found out, it was nothing that I would ever, run out to the comic shop on a Wednesday, to get anything anyway. I think one time ever I've been in a comic book shop on a New Comic Book Day, and it was totally on accident. And if I was ever in a comic book shop on a Wednesday before that, I just had no idea of New Comic Book Day. Anyway, this video I saw, they were talking about the new Rodney Barnes book. And I follow Rodney Barnes. But you want to hear something that's really weird? I have probably the last 4 or 5 titles he's worked on. I haven't begun to read not one of them. Not one of them. But I'll get around to it. Anyway, I guess the new one is called Crownsville. And I didn't know until today that this is a 5-issue run that he's working on with Ilya Bonetti. And they actually had a few different covers. I saw 3 different covers. I grabbed these 2. No, I'm not one of those people, but I did decide that with this run, since it's only 5 issues long, I would buy 2 copies of each of these books. So these were the 2 number 1s that I chose to pick up. And who knows, maybe all 5 copies will have more than one cover. If that's the case, then I'll definitely buy different covers for each one, and each run will have, completely different covers than the other. That's if they end up doing it. It's no big deal. I don't really care. Issue number 6 of Bronze Faces. Seemed like a little while ago, everybody was talking about this book, but I haven't been hearing too much about it. I do have the entire run. Have not yet looked into it, but I will. I will. Now, back to New Comic Book Day. This is the book that I went out to, that I was looking for at, I think I went to Dreadnought Comics. They didn't have any copies of it. This is the only book ever that I rushed out to get on a New Comic Book Day. I only went to 2 shops, and neither shop had them. This is issue number 5 of Illuminati. Uh, this book, is 5 out of 5, and this was that run from AWA that was doing the, I don't know, tribute to the rap covers. Now, as I'm sure I've mentioned, when Marvel did this several years ago, um, it didn't do anything for me. I actually thought it was kind of corny, and it seemed after like a couple years is when a lot of people started jumping on it. When I first saw this book, I think it was issue number 2, if I'm not mistaken, 2 or maybe 3. I think it was the Red Man cover, whatever issue that was. And I was in Greg's Comics, and I saw it, and I think to myself, "Oh, here they go again, doing the rap covers." And I just kind of kept it moving. And then I came back to it, and I flipped it open, and then I saw the art, and I kind of saw what it was all about. And as I mentioned before, this is like a story about the black Illuminati and the music business in LA. So I was like, well, I gotta check this out. So believe it or not, I followed this book, or I wanted this run more so because of the story opposed to the actual rap cover book. But yeah, this is I actually bought a couple of these. One to stock, one to rock. Who knows? Maybe just like a lot of those Marvel books, they'll shoot up in value, and then I'll have I'll have a set to sell or something. Who knows? Okay, so let's look at a few 50-cent books that I picked up at Greg's, because they're like the only shop in the city that's got 50-cent books. This is issue number 1 of The Collector. Here's a run that I'm following. This is issue number 5 of Daisy. I know I have another issue of this somewhere in my collection. I definitely have shown you. But this is issue number 1 of Cross to Bear. Man, I just love these indie titles with the cool artwork inside. Here's issue number 2, From Dust to Dust. I'm not sure if that's a Western or not, but I thought that was cool. This is issue number 2 of Ackham Horror. I don't know how you pronounce that. And then issue number 4 of Barstow. These were all 50-cent books. And then they have, last, I don't know, 3-4 times I've been in Greg's, they've had like a magazine, a dollar magazine box sitting on the counter. And they actually had some books in there. I picked them up because they were $1 and they looked kind of interesting. And there was like a whole box of them. I'm sure a lot of you probably would have grabbed. I've grabbed stuff out of there before, but I was thinking to myself, man, I think some of these, there's people out there that probably grab everything in this box and not even look back. This book is called Farad and the Gray Mauser. I don't know. Big thick book. Look at that. $1. Let's get a little closer. Look at that. $1 for that book. Don't know anything about it. This is a book called Vertigo First Cut. There's a lot of Vertigo books that I follow. I think this one features The Exterminators, Jack Fable's Army of Love, DMZ, Scalped, Crossing Midnight, and Loveless. I'll take a gander. I'm sure I'm gonna pass these books along. Rogue State number 1. I do believe I've shown this book before, but with a different cover. But just to make sure I picked this up, just in case I was wrong. Here is a brand new copy of Savage Sword of Conan, number 11. I flipped through this. I wasn't completely moved by the artwork. I do have a lot of the old Conan books from back in the day. I'm sure I'm going to pass this along to somebody. Uh, Anybody want to hit me up? I'm sure I'm not going to keep it, but Conan for a buck, you can't pass that up. This one is The Last Ronin 2 Revolution number 1 and number 2. That's pretty cool. And then here's a book I love. This is Nam magazine. Remember that? And I think I have, I don't know if I have this or not. I know I have like the first 5 or 6 copies of this magazine, which I picked up from Champion Comics out of their dollar mag boxes. So I'll see if I have that. If not, I'll pass that along too. And then they have a box on the floor of a bunch of dollar magazines too, and books and stuff down in there. And I picked up this copy of Mad Magazine with $6 Million Man and the Bionic Woman. Man, Steve Austin was my guy back in the day. He was everything. Alright, so there's some cool magazines. After I left Greg, I hit up Ash Avenue. My homeboy Drew over there, Ash. Picked up a few over there. I have a couple copies of this. Maybe, yeah, at least 1 or 2. This is issue number 1 of Illuminati. It was there. I picked it up. Why not? Cool DMX homage, or however they say that, cover on there. I did pick up another issue of the ODB cover, issue number 5. Issue number 16 of World Tree. Oh, this was a real treat. This is issue number 2. Let me find this guy's name. I want to make sure I give him... What's his name at in here? Alright, I can't even find it. I showed you issue number 1. But this is issue number 2 of the MF Doom comic. I cannot think of the guy's name who did this book. Please forgive me. I can't seem to find it. I'm sure it's buried in there somewhere. But check that out. Very cool. Very, very, very cool. So I picked up a couple of those. And then let's take a look at what I found in their dollar box. This is issue number 10 of Shadow Man. This is issue number 2. This is a book I'm definitely going to find the rest of these. This is Abbott, 1973. Crazy thing about this book is I've seen this book a number of times in the dollar boxes. Never looked at it twice, but today, because of the young lady on the cover, I definitely had to take a flip through, and I go, oh, okay, I can deal with this. You know, as long as I find the other ones for cheap as well, I can definitely deal with that. So I'm sure I'll be picking the rest of those up soon. This is issue number 1 of Slow Burn. That's got a really cool cover on it. Kind of reminds me of some crazy Netflix movie. And then this is issue number 2 and 3 of volume 2 of The Devil's Highway. I think I recently mentioned how I just started picking, you know, picking these books up because I would see them in the dollar boxes so often. I think I have some of the volume 1, and now I have some of the volume 2. And then I picked up this other book in their dollar boxes called Lesser Evils. So, some reading material for me, right? I'll read that while I'm on a plane or something. And then this is very exciting. I should actually save this for a Corbin video, which I will, but I'll just give you a quick peek at what this is, and then perhaps I will go a little further into it on a Corbin video. Where did I find? Oh, this is a seller. I found this guy on Instagram, and I bought another book from him. And then he was recently selling some other books, and he sent me like a few Corbin books that he was selling. And I purchased one, I don't know, maybe a month or two ago, and then I purchased another one just recently. Okay, he's got this thing really taped up and secured pretty good. Alright, let's take a look at this. Oh man, I swear some of these sellers, he's got this thing taped down. Seriously taped down. I appreciate it. It just sometimes takes me about 15 to 20 minutes to free them. Okay, so one. Ooh. Eric Griffin's issue number 1 of the Ebony Warrior. Which is pretty cool. Let that marinate. And then this is a cool one. I don't know anything about this book. I didn't even know this book existed until this guy sent me a picture of it. And I am going to guess. Well, I'm not even going to get into it. We'll talk about it more on another video. Check this out. Ooh, look at that. Alright, that's enough of that. That's gonna appear in a future Corbin video. So I don't know. You might see it in a month. I don't know. Anyway, that's all I got for now. This was like a pretty big haul for 2 days. You know what I mean? And in a few weeks we got the Scottsdale comic show coming up, aka the Old Man Con. My favorite comic show is just a room full of books. That's it. That's it. So I'm looking forward to that. And I hope I find some cool stuff in there that I can show you guys. Alright, so until then, or at least until my next haul, which who knows, could be tomorrow. This is Daryl D signing off. Until next time, good night.